You too. I love you. And I love you. Happy Wednesday, everyone. So remember those stories you'd hear about a firefighter who sets a fire so he can ride in and save the day, but instead the house burns down? That reminds me of Joe and the border. He torches the border, and now we're supposed to trust the same guy who started this raging blaze to put it out. You know, it's like believing O.J. when he said he was going to find his wife's killer.
He's still looking.
He is. So, do we give him more matches and gas or look for someone with a fire extinguisher and a pulse? That's the question Joe Biden asked America yesterday during a speech that reminded me of Winston Churchill. Primarily because Winston Churchill is also dead.
All indications are this bill won't even move forward to the Senate floor. Why? A simple reason. Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump thinks it's bad for him politically. He'd rather weaponize this issue than actually solve it. Trump and the MAGA Republicans said no. Because they're afraid of Donald Trump. Afraid of Donald Trump. The Republicans have to decide, who do they serve? Donald Trump or the American people? Every day between now and November, the American people are going to know that the only reason the border is not secure is Donald Trump and his MAGA Republican friends. Folks, we've got to move past this toxic politics.
That is amazing. First of all, he asks, who do the Republicans serve? This is the man wearing the Ukrainian flag because they gave money to his kid. Who do you serve? But the short-term buzz of this woke posturing inevitably gave way to the reality hangover that was visible yesterday on the president's face. Look at him. It's painful to watch. It's gotten to the point that now Joe just barks MAGA whenever he can't make a real argument. Lucky for him, it's only 2 syllables. Even luckier, Trump is only 1. But it's his answer for everything. He's like a sex addict who only knows one position. And we're the ones getting screwed. But it seems something has finally dawned on Joe. That spiteful anti-Trump tantrum he threw when he took office, reversing roughly 90 Trump-era border policies, has now become the defining feature of his administration. And he's become a melting, angry ice sculpture. And then there's Homeland Security Director Alejandro Mayorkas. Sorry, it's hard to give a thumbs up to a man who looks like a thumb. He's failed miserably to defend our borders. So when the House of Representatives voted Tuesday evening to impeach him, it should have been what figure skaters call a slam dunk. But 3 Republicans, these fellows right here on your screen, joined the Dems in voting against what would have been the second ever impeachment of a sitting cabinet official. So write down those names so you can vote against them, or at least sign them up on Grindr. Our audience doesn't know Grindr, and good for you. Mike Gallagher posted on X why he voted against impeachment. Quote, creating a new lower standard for impeachment will set a dangerous new precedent that will be weaponized against future Republicans' administrations. It will only further pry open the Pandora's box of perpetual impeachment. So you get this, people? Those GOP defectors didn't vote to impeach Trump, didn't vote to impeach because it would lead to the Dems doing it as well. Do we live in the twilight zone, Sir Gallagher? The Dems already impeached Trump, not once, but twice. Did we already forget that? Is Biden's dementia contagious? Does MAGA now stand for making Alzheimer's great again? What an argument. We don't want to hit them because they'll hit us back. Well, then why are you in the damn ring? You're fighting for us, remember? Anyway, Republicans say they'll try their hand at impeaching Mayorkas again, maybe in a few years when our southern border starts at Nebraska. Yeah. But like I told my assistant when she wanted a day off for her mother's funeral, don't hold your breath. But it's not really about Mayorkas, it's about Joe. We wouldn't have this crisis had Biden not rescinded Trump's border policies and just left Remain in Mexico in place. He prefers his policy of remain in basement instead. The problem with yesterday was that it ignored one unignorable fact. This disaster was not occurring under Trump, and that the Republican House now are as weak as Jerry Nadler's sphincter. If there's one thing establishment Republicans love to do, it's lose gracefully. But as they lose, so do we. Cash-strapped local governments are now spending billions for the care and feeding of new arrivals with no work permits and limited job skills and less respect for the law than Ilhan Omar on her wedding night.
Damn.
I don't even know what that means. The video of 2 NYPD cops assaulted by Venezuelan thugs exposes the issue that Dems had labeled racist just for bringing it up: migrant crime. So Venezuela empties its prisons and we get a crime wave. What did you expect? They broke the laws in their own country and now they're free to roam in a bigger, richer country. It's like offering a free bucket of fried Twinkies and then shocked that Joy Behar shows up. On the foreign policy front, Biden's decided to link securing the border to funding for foreign wars. Now, let me get this straight. Russia's at war with Ukraine. Hamas terrorists slaughtered Israeli citizens. Oh, yeah, Joe, it's Hamas.
There is some movement, and I don't want to, well, maybe choose my words.
Damn.
There's some movement. There's been a response from there's been a response from the opposition, but yes, I'm sorry, from Hamas.
Oh my God.
Quick, somebody get smelling salts and then put them in a little girl's hair. That's not good. That is so not good. At least he didn't say extreme MAGA Republicans. It's Hamas, you dumbass. Maybe ease up on the embalming fluid. It's not even funny anymore, really. I feel bad saying that because this is terrible. But those wars mean America apparently doesn't get a southern border. If anybody can explain to me how this works, I promise to give you Brian Kilmeade's home phone number. He goes to bed at 8:30. So these countries, they have sacred borders, but America's looks like Walmart on a Black Friday. Of course, the experts will say, look, man, you got to fight the bad guys over there so they don't come here. Fine, I get that. But why not make it harder for them to get in here before they flee from the wars that we are fighting there? I know. It makes too much sense. Like muting your TV whenever Jesse's on. The truth is, the border crisis is like luminol for the crime scene that is the Biden administration. It's detecting blood all over, and Joe's alibi is holding up about as well as the border itself. Thanks to his incurable TDS, Joe has managed to make our border as incontinent as he is. Can he stop the flow at all? I bet we'll get the same old answer. Depends. Let's welcome tonight's guest. He took a night off from banging your ex to be here tonight. Comedian Jeff Dye. She's so bright, Joe Biden keeps walking towards her. Campaign communications expert Aaron Perini.
And here we go.
She took Ozempic and gained weight. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Tattoo. And when he plays Monopoly, he uses real houses. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA world champion, Jeff, you know, because you're an expert on immigration, I was going to ask you what your solution is, but then I watched those clips again of Joe Biden, and I realized these are not gaffes anymore. This is just the status quo of his behavior. It's kind of scary. I even feel bad making jokes about it now.
Yeah, it's hard to make it funny.
Yeah.
Like, it really is. Like, you just watch it and you go, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
That's the leader.
Yeah, I know.
You have, like, JFK, like, we choose to go to the moon. You know, you get jacked up. You get hard watching that. You watch this, you just go, this is what we're doing?
Yeah.
It's very embarrassing.
It's very embarrassing.
Also, what is the plan? Just don't talk about it?
Yeah.
At least we have a position here.
Yeah.
But then you ask people like, well, you know, you when you go to a country, you should probably follow the rules to like get into that country. I can't just go to Australia. And they go, hey, don't say that.
Yeah.
Hey, what about these guys beat up a cop? They're not even citizens. They go, whoa, racist. No. Well, what's the plan? Like, can we talk about it? Like, there has to be some other side.
Yeah, the only side they are concerned with are for the people coming in. It's the most bizarre thing. A border actually has two sides to it,
Right.
inside and out. And like, if you bring up your concerns, you're a bigot.
Right, just by talking about it, like that's pretty scary also, and not very funny that we can't even talk about it without being like, this is you're problematic.
What happened to your collar, by the way?
This is a special cut. I was told it looks good.
You're like Jeff Dye, hip doctor. Look, I'm here to tell you you got cancer, but what are you doing later? Aaron?
That is the doctor I'd be.
That is the doctor you be. You've only got 3 months to live, but 2 months to love.
I love that.
All right, Aaron, I apologize for that. What do you think not impeaching Mayorkas is a big deal? I mean, it's like, I guess life goes on. Is this a big defeat?
No, it's not, because one, they'll be able to bring it up again. And, I think the least surprising part of this is that, like, it's taking a while to get things done in Congress. That's the same song and dance. I worked on the Hill for years. I haven't been there for a few years, but really not much has changed. The way we make the change here is we elect somebody else to the White House. Yeah. The reason we are facing 3.5 to 4 times more border crossings in a 2-year period under Joe Biden than we did under Donald Trump is because of Joe Biden, let alone the 90 executive actions that he took away from the Trump administration purely because he said, oh, Donald Trump, that's a no for me. Building the border wall, he stopped doing that. Part of that border wall was also like dam infrastructure in Texas, and he was like, good luck, everybody. Like, everything he did has been bad and has only made the border worse. People want to see this end. You can't be shocked that it's going to take Congress a while to get this right. You need a leader in the White House who's willing to take action to get it right, because it's clear between Biden and Mayorkas, no one is going to close the southern border of the United States.
Yeah, he would rather forgive student loans. Yeah. And he will do, and has done that. And
catch and release people in the United States.
Yeah.
You enter the country illegally, hey, you got a one-way ticket. You beat an NYPD cop, you might make it to California. But that is the tenet of their policy right now. The core of their policy is,
Yeah. Kat, I think I was caught off guard watching Biden again.
Yes. I think we all know now why he's not doing the Super Bowl interview.
Yes. I mean, it's bad.
That's serious. Okay, if that's your audition tape, what gig could you get?
No,
right?
no.
Like, you're like
grandpa.
just 3. It's only 3 minutes. There's no only in that 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, like the Super Bowl is supposed to be fun, I hear, and like
that was grim.
Allegedly,
like, that's like he looks miserable.
They wouldn't let you work
so
at
sad.
Applebee's.
But why is that? I mean, the thing is, why isn't that clip everywhere? Like, I'm pleading ignorance. That is the first time I
Me
saw
too.
it.
Oh, no,
First time
I've seen it.
I mean, this is the first time because they all look the same. You're like, oh, you know what's crazy is that I don't care what party you're from, what you believe. Whenever you're watching Joe Biden speak, everyone watches him like this.
Yeah.
like what's gonna happen? Like that's not like how you should watch them. But like, and you're just like heartbroken and scared the whole time.
Yeah.
This isn't normal. None of this is normal. It's disturbing. He's so sad.
Yeah, it's
like this. He shouldn't have to do that.
No, at this point, they need one of those big things that take him away.
The problem is
we owe George W. Bush a big apology. we raked that guy over the coals for saying like "fool me once" and then losing his train of thought.
Yeah.
This guy every day, it's so normal to us now. We just go, oh, that's how he talks.
Yeah, but at least
It's normal.
I thought he was just splitting the diff. Like he's got a 10-minute speech, but if he combines it all together, he can get it done in 3 minutes. I thought it was just I'll say 3 or 4 things at the exact same time, which is a higher level of thinking.
That's true.
Which we just don't get it.
Yeah,
So,
yes.
My bad, Mr. President. I'll work on my. This is just the incident with the Border Patrol officers and their horses. Mm-hmm. His ass should have been out of there.
Yeah.
And this is on Republicans. This is why we need term limits. They care more about getting reelected than doing the right thing. His lackadaisical effort with the border, with the way he treats the men and women who protect the border. How about the mothers who came to Congress? He didn't show up because he was, quote, in a meeting with Mexico. You should have brought their asses too. But it goes back to the same thing. Republicans are full of and this proves it. They say they want change. Who cares? If I know that being a leader and doing the right thing and getting this man out here who's failed, and there's no one can argue that he hasn't, means I might not get reelected, but I did my job that was better for my people, fine. next man up. So be it. I did my part. But this says more. This, we always want to go at the left and say when they're doing this, this says more about us and the spineless people that supposedly are conservatives that know that this man has cost money, has ruined lives. There was people that couldn't leave their homes because everyone thought they were whipping black people. And think about that. That's what, and you're serving for pay, and that's how you're being treated. And that's just one. Didn't show up for the moms. Then it was perfectly fine being like border agents were letting people drown in the water.
Yes.
It didn't matter what horrible thing that he said, but you just didn't want them to come back at you. Yeah. Turn in your little pin and your tie and go home.
Yeah. All right.
Hey, Sean Hannity here.